Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
This is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime.
Why are we going so fast?
I don't know. We just wanted to say it really quick. But anyhow, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, but you know what? Today no me tomé la medicine, so I'm a little bit out there. So
All over the place?
Yes. So if
I'll reel you in.
you will. And not only that, but the good thing is that today's not my episode. So other than that, we would be in big trouble.
Why?
Because I would be everywhere in my episode.
Oh, I'll reel you in.
No.
In the editing, I will reel you in.
So we hope everyone is having a good day. Welcome to Cafecito and Crime. That's how you were telling me that you were saying to the people at Sonic. When you were repeating their fucking line. Orders. So Stella was telling us right now. I'm telling the listeners. So Stella was telling us que, you know, when she was in high school, estaba chiquilla, I think you were like in the 9th grade. Bitch.
No, bitch. I was like a junior in high school.
10th? 11th?
11.
12? I don't know. Anyway, so she was working at Sonic. You worked like a week, bitch.
I worked 3 months. Thank you very much.
Oh, shit.
And then a hurricane came, it was coming, and we had to evacuate. And then I just never went back. Everything was fine. Nothing happened. But
yeah. But anyway, so then she was like, I remember que cuando they would ask, I needed to repeat their order, and I didn't know what they had ordered. I'd be like, and I'm like, wow. So all of these people for 3 months got the wrong fucking order because of you.
They didn't get the wrong order. It's just, I don't even know how we took orders back in the day. I don't remember.
And then I told my...
Oh, no, they would order. Mm-hmm. They would order it. And then through the, you have your press. And then you would bring it out and then you would repeat off the receipt what they ordered. But a lot of the stuff on the receipt was abbreviated. Oh. And I don't know what it was. I was just like...
And so then my daughter, and then I was like, yeah, and she was on skates. And then my daughter's like, she can't even talk. What makes you think she was going to be on skates?
No, I was not on skates. Thank you very much. And not my location.
But they don't do that anymore, do they?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I think it's an option. I would love to be on skates. So I love skating.
I can't even be on roller skates. I don't know how to roller skate.
I love roller skate.
Rollerblade, I'm a little bit better.
Both.
But I cannot roller skate to save my life. I would die.
I could do both.
Must be nice.
I'm excited. For what? I don't know, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's exactly what we were just talking about because Estela. So everybody for 3 months, if that was not your order, it was Estela's fault.
That's not what it was.
Like in 10?
No, I was already out of high school by then. Maybe
9?
2008, 2007, por ahí.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so where are we going today, Cisterna?
For today's case, we are going to Orinda, California.
Oh, and then I would also like to add that I haven't had coffee today. So it's been a day.
I'll reel you in.
It's been a rough day.
We're reeling you in right now.
Okay. So we're going to California.
Orinda.
That's a name.
Orinda, California.
All right. Well, let's get going. So if you'd like to come with us to Orinda, California, go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started. The first fun, random, interesting fact.
Is it historical? We had to do it because Orinda, I mean, ¿qué va a haber?
Yeah. Is that Orinda is, is the origin of its name, pues. That was where it came from.
Okay.
It came from William Cameron's wife, Alice.
So Alice Orinda.
No.
Oh.
Now, William Cameron, he was a developer allá in the 1800s, pues. And he purchased 2,937 acres in the area that is now known as Orinda in 1875.
I know probably people know this answer, pero how the fuck were you just going to walk? I'm going to buy this right here.
No, espérate, güey. Guess how much he paid for an acre back in 1875?
How much, bitch?
Guess.
I don't know, $20. I don't know.
Yes.
No, bitch.
Yes.
What the fuck?
$20.
Of California.
In California, yeah.
Imagine, I know that there's Californian listening to us right now.
And he bought 2,937 acres.
So dijo,
it was all part of a land pact with a whole bunch of settlers.
Él dijo, ¿sabes qué? Give me 2,970 acres right now, bitch. $20.
2,937.
Whatever. Then $20. Órale.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine now over there, $20 won't even get you a fucking burger in California.
No, ni un chicle.
No chicle a lo mejor.
A lo mejor.
Uno. No, el pack.
No.
El pack, no.
Single.
Sí. No, and you have to pay your bags, so maybe even that.
Some Tic Tacs.
Maybe some Tic Tacs, yeah.
So, pues así la wife, Alice, pues la wife de Mr. William, she had a favorite poet. She was British. Her name was Catherine Fowler Phillips. And this British poet, she liked to be known or was known as the matchless Orinda.
Okay.
And so...
What's a matchless Orinda?
I don't know. You want to look it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
and
luego?
then
Keep telling me, though.
Yes. So Alice, she was like, husband, let's just, call our new property, our new land, Orinda Park.
Okay. So actually, matchless Orinda was the name of, that's what they call her. It says she was known as the matchless Orinda, but it doesn't tell you what it means.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
So, so that's how it came to be Orinda, the town. So by the dawn of the 20th century, Park was eventually just dropped from the name. They probably thought it was too much.
So it was Orinda Park?
It was Orinda Park. And then they were like, that's too much. Orinda Park, California, like that's too long. California's already too long. So necesitamos mocharle el park. Because it's not a park, maybe people were getting confused. They thought they were going to a park. And
but
it
it's
was
like
a whole
when
town.
you say Park Place.
Park Place?
Like a park and a place?
Park Place Avenue?
That's what I'm saying. Pero that's kind of like you don't need the park.
Pero porque aquí Park iba primero en Park Place. So it just goes,
True. Okay.
So yeah, that's how I got the name.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, the second is that...
Oh, there's more than one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is kind of like a little tiny fun fact.
Okay.
That Orinda is placed number 10 on the U.S. rankings of the wealthiest suburbs, according to New York Post. Because it is a suburb of San Francisco.
Okay.
Like
but I think San Francisco is really expensive. I've never been there, pero I heard it was really expensive.
They are.
But dude, I've always wanted to go, pero I feel like when you go there, you have to have really good calves. Porque como está todo chueco, güey.
No, güey. Hilly.
Para arriba. Por eso, pues. Entonces, si vas a ir caminando en las hills, ¿te imaginas?
Imagine driving like that. I know the people that live there obviously are used to it, pero pues yo siento que me voy.
No, I would not be, we know that. I would not be good, but first
even
of all,
if I were taking Ubers, I would feel like I would close my eyes.
I would be like, don't do it. Yeah. Like that. But I mean, because Princess Diaries, obviously.
Yeah. Charmed. They live in San Francisco.
But cool. Yeah, because I heard San Francisco is really high end, so I don't know. And they look like they have like really pretty like artsy places,
Full House is in San Francisco, yeah, right?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. It looks so pretty.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh yeah, I think we should go to San Francisco.
Yeah,
we should go.
Put it in the Palm Pilot.
No, porque this trip is gonna get out of the
group chat.
The group chat for sure.
Sí. Mm-hmm. Now that's it.
That's
all you need to know about Orinda.
You know what?
They have
finger
claps.
Finger claps.
They have monies, and then the name came from a famous British poet that was Alice's favorite.
No, she was kind of a little cutesy. Te la voy a enseñar. Aquí está la compita. It was actually like a person.
Pues sí, duh.
No, pues yo digo, ¿verdad?
Pues sí.
That was her.
Yeah.
Catherine Phillips, the Poetry Foundation.
There you go.
Okay.
So today we will be discussing the case of Kirsten Costas, who, just wait, is... in like a blink of an eye, she died. And it was something that obviously you can't take back, even though you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't take back that. No. It's not possible quite yet.
No. But the person that did it probably wished they could. But
yeah. It's too late.
Yeah.
It happened.
So Kirsten Marina Costas was born on July 23rd of 1968 in Oakland, California, to parents Arthur and Barrett Costas. She had a younger brother, I think he was 3 years younger than her, who completed the Costas family of 4. Now, Kirsten was described as the typical California girl. She was pretty, she was petite, she had a bubbly personality, she had sun-kissed skin. In 1994...
Can't relate to any of that. I'm tall, I'm pale.
And I'm not petite.
Yeah.
Now, in 1984, she was 15 and was a sophomore who attended Miramonte High School. So to everyone, she seemed to have it all and was good at everything. She came from a wealthy family. She wore the best clothes. She was popular.
In 1968, what was the best clothes back then, though?
No, she was born in 68,
okay,
but she was in 1984.
Oh, in the 80s, ya estaba como Guess and like all of those...
other stuff that we probably can't think of.
All of those things.
Excuse me?
Jabot?
What did you call me?
No. You don't know about Jabot?
No.
It was a designer, and they would wear these big old shorts.
Oh, okay.
And they were called the Jabot jeans.
Oh.
And they were all colorful, really like bright, bold colors. My sister really wanted some, but they bought them and then they didn't fit her. She was really upset.
Yeah, I would have been too if I really wanted them. Al último no me quedaron.
And then, I mean, obviously Mexicans don't know about returns. Apparently.
Yeah.
Just saying. Or at least my mom.
Maybe your mom didn't care.
Maybe she didn't. Yeah, maybe she did.
She was also popular. She had good grades. She was a cheerleader. She was on the swim team. She played soccer.
But she did everything.
As they always do.
Girl.
Where do these kids get this energy?
I don't know, because my daughter does 2 things and she's dying every day.
Yeah, she's tired.
She's tired. And then I'll go up there. What do you do? I'm tired. My son, you went up there right now. You were like, what are you doing? I'm tired.
And he was like, how was your day? He was like,
I'm tired.
I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm tired. Okay. Well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, all of this made Kirsten a shoo-in for the Bobbies.
A what?
What are the Bobbies, you ask?
Yes, I want to know what the Bobbies are.
So the Bobolinks, or the Bobbies. I mean, the Bobolinks was the formal name, but it was shortened to Bobbies. They were essentially a high school sorority.
Oh, kind of like the Pink Ladies.
What's the Pink Ladies?
Well, back whenever
before I was born?
Oh yeah, way before.
Oh,
like
shit.
in the 50s, the Pink Ladies.
Oh,
like
no.
the girls that would wear the pink jackets, and they were like with the guys would wear like the motorcycle, they would ride their motorcycles. You know, like Grease? No?
No, but I don't think that's a sorority. I just think that's like a club.
Club, yeah.
No, this is a sorority.
Oh, okay. Then I got confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was not a school organization, but something that was created by students to raise money for Mount Diablo Rehabilitation Center. They were supposed to be like a philanthropic organization, if you will. At least that was the intended goal. But in reality, it was more of a social club. Okay. If you were part of the Bobbies, it gave you status.
That's what I'm saying, like the Pink Ladies.
You got to hang out with the most popular girls at school, and you knew and were at the best parties.
Okay, and they also dated usually the football players and all the.
It definitely broadened your social circle. Like it gave you, like you networked before you knew what networking was, right? Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, because they didn't have no cell phones and stuff.
You need to learn it. To be a member of the Bobbies, you had to be personally invited by one of its former members. So it's kind of like they describe it as a legacy thing because your parents, your mom was part of the Bobbies, like that sort of thing,
okay,
you know?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So like a college sorority, you know, like
yeah,
your
like
sisters,
a sorority. Yeah, okay.
So after you were nominated, there was a vote taken by the other members to see if you were going to be accepted. And if you were not accepted, it could literally be for the smallest thing or the dumbest thing, just because they thought that you said something about them, or they just didn't like the way that you looked, or they just didn't like you.
Just like a sorority.
Yeah. So if you were invited to become a Bobbie, there was no exact way to know how the invitation was going to come or when. It was all very secretive. A lot of girls didn't even really know what the selection process was. The invitation could be, very overboard, or just as simple as somebody coming to your door and leaving like an invitation for you. And much like a college sorority, the Bobbies also had initiation rituals in a way of humiliation, or like hazing. A former member stated as an example that the Bobbies would come to your house en la mañana. They would wake you up, pick your clothes for you, the worst possible outfit ever. They would put crazy makeup on you like a clown. They would do your hair super crazy, and they would make you go to school like that.
Do you wish you had a place where you could talk about all of the things in midlife that nobody says out loud with people who have both experience and expertise? The hormones, the emotions, the changes in your body, relationships, and work. The identity that does not quite fit anymore.
Messy Midlife is 3 naturopathic doctors and 1 therapist having the unscripted, unfiltered conversations about all of it. We explore the strange, powerful transformation hiding inside as we navigate finding ourselves again and letting go of what no longer fits.
0 filters, 0 pretending, 0 apologies, 100% real. Join us for Messy Midlife anywhere you listen and become a part of our community.
You don't make me do shit, bitch. You don't tell me what to do. I'd be like, that's why I'm not a Bobbie.
Get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
I don't want you
First
to be a
of
part of your
all,
club.
I'm calling the cops, motherfucker. Yeah.
No, bitch, and it's like your mom that let them in.
Yeah. No, yo los dejé. No, pero ¿por qué los dejaste pasar? You know?
Because you're going to be a Bobbie.
Because you're going to be a Bobbie, and yo no quiero. Yo no quiero ser Bobby, pues.
They'd also, another example given was that one former member, she said that she was given a banana and a condom. They made her or told her to walk up to a group of senior boys, and roll the condom on top, like on the banana in front of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, back in the day, that's pretty scandalous.
Exactly.
In the 80s, bro?
Yes.
That was scandalous. Like wearing...
Even now.
Certain things was scandalous.
Yeah.
Even now, yeah.
So when Kirsten was invited to become a Bobby in June of 1984, it was to no one's surprise. Other girls who were also invited was a girl named Stacy, which it's assumed that it was one of Kirsten's friends, but because she literally had 5 friends named Stacy in her friend group.
I wonder if that was just a thing like when everybody's name was a certain way, like everybody's name.
Like all the Ashleys and Reese's.
Or all the Marias.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another girl named Bernadette también, she was asked to be a Bobby and the cheerleading squad. Mm-hmm. Now, on Thursday, June 21st, a call was placed to the Costa home, which Kirsten's mom ended up answering. And it was a young woman on the other line who told her to let Kirsten know that she was invited to a secret dinner for the Bobbies on Saturday night.
Barbies would have been a better name than Bobbies.
Someone was going to pick her up between 9 p.m. and midnight, and that she needed to wear something nice.
Yeah, pero ya es tarde.
Yeah.
Ya 9, ya. You know me.
Between 9 and midnight.
No. Si no. Yo no puedo ir. Es muy tarde.
No, pues you're not a 15-year-old girl. You're 40.
Yeah, but still, bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, 9?
The young lady didn't identify herself and told her to tell Kirsten not to tell anybody since it was a secret dinner. Mm-hmm. So at this time, cuando this call came into the home, Kirsten no estaba. She was away at cheerleading camp. So when she returned, her mom, who was familiar with the Bobby's way, relayed the message. Now, on Saturday, June 23rd, at around 9:30.
Oh, 9:30.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really big 9:30.
Yeah, it was late.
It was late? That's more than 9:30.
Yeah.
It's 9:30.
So it was between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Kirsten rang the doorbell at Alex and Mary Jane Arnold home in Moraga, California. So when Mr. Arnold Alex opened the door, he later recalled that Kirsten looked kind of spooked and asked if she could use his phone to call her mother to pick her up since her friend was being weird. Alex invited her inside and she let her use his phone. So Kirsten called her house, but no one answered. So her mom, her dad, and her little brother had gone out before she was even picked up. So she knew that they weren't going to be home. So cuando ella les habló, she was like, oh, fuck, they're still not home. So Alex offered to drive her home since she still looked shaken up. And I think Orinda from where he lived in Moraga was only and her house was 3 to 4 miles away. So no estaba lejos. So as Alex began to back out of his driveway, he noticed that there was an old beat-up Ford Pinto parked nearby. Kirsten told him that she had been in that car and didn't want to get back in it. So he asked her if something had been going on, and she told him that everything was fine and not to worry about it. So le dijo something along those lines, that everything was fine. As they were driving, he noticed that the Pinto started following them. They soon arrived to Orchard Road where she lived, and since her parents weren't home yet, she asked them to drop her off at a neighbor's house. So as Kirsten got out and began walking to the neighbor's house, Alex again later stated, so he saw a girl come out of the Pinto, walk past his car, and up to Kirsten from behind.
Okay. So basically, he's sitting there watching
her walk to the front door.
To the front door, but al mismo tiempo, somebody else gets off of the car and they're both... Okay, so he's watching all of this unfold. Okay,
yes,
okay.
Yes. And he said that he heard Kirsten turn around and yell, "Get away from me, you're weird." And then the other girl raised her hand or raised her right arm and brought it down on Kirsten. And he thought that since both girls were screaming and there was hand motion, that they were fist fighting. Mm-hmm. So he then saw Kirsten fall to the ground, but then he saw her get up and she began to run in his direction and passed him to a different neighbor's house. The other girl was still standing there on the neighbor's porch, and she was holding a red-colored object in her hand. She ran past his car and got into her car, which, again, was noted as a yellow Pinto.
And nobody is paying attention to this man just standing there. He's just like...
he was in his car.
I know, but what I'm saying is like he's standing there watching all of this happen and he's like como con la boca abierta like, what just happened?
Yeah, he was like, what is going on?
What the fuck?
Like,
y se baja el hombre and they're like running past him and shit.
No, he never got out of his car.
Oh, he never got out.
No, he was just in the car. And he saw that the girl got in her car and she peeled out of there and heading up the road. So when he turned around, he saw that Kirsten had, like I said, had run across the street to another neighbor's house and assumed that she was fine. He was like, well, yes, she was just walking to the neighbor's house. So he decided to follow the yellow Pinto to see if he could find out anything about what had happened or who this person was. So he did chase the car for a while and eventually returned to the scene porque al último...
He didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know anything. So Kirsten had run to her next door neighbor's home, Arthur Hillman's house, who heard screams and noises outside of his door. When he opened the door to see what was going on, he saw Kirsten on his doorstep, and she said, "Help me, I've been stabbed."
What the hell?
Before collapsing pretty much in his arms. She was bleeding profusely through her shirt, and EMS was immediately called, and they quickly arrived. And in all the chaos, like within 5 minutes, llegaron los parents de Kirsten and arrived to all this chaos. Kirsten was rushed to Kaiser Hospital, but she was pronounced dead on arrival at around 10:30 or 11 p.m. She had been stabbed a total of 5 times.
Ha, dog it. Well, she was just like fast.
2 to the front, 2 to the back, and then 1 that has severed a carotid artery.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. She was 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Baby. My daughter's age?
Yeah. When I see cases like this, I think of her. I'm like, if something were to happen, because we know her like her little friends and stuff. So,
and I know where they all live, by the way. I just wanted you to know that.
I have their mother's phone number.
I have their mother's phone number and their daddy's. Shit. And their granny. Fuck.
Now, the investigation quickly began. And as the scene was processed, police were not able to locate a murder weapon.
Well, no, she took it with her.
Alex Arnold was able to provide police with a detailed account of what happened from when Kirsten rang his doorbell to the perpetrator's appearance and what they were driving. He told them that the assailant was a blonde girl who was fairly tall compared to Kirsten because she was tiny. She was little. And she took off in a mustard-colored Pinto. He wasn't able to provide them with the license number. It may have been because the car either didn't have license plates or because he just wasn't able to get them.
Or that wasn't his priority, was to remember that. Because he really didn't know what was going on, honestly.
Right. Like I just said, él no sabía that she had been stabbed. He just thought that se estaban agarrando de la greña. When investigators spoke to Barrett, Kirsten's mom, she explained the call that she'd received on Thursday about the secret Bobby dinner. And they concluded that it had all been a ruse to lure Kirsten outside of her house, since the Bobbies had had their initiation dinner 3 weeks prior.
Oh, so this wasn't one. Uh-oh, that's not good.
This made them fairly certain that whoever killed Kirsten knew her. Not only did they know her phone number and address, but they also knew that she was going to be away at cheerleading camp when they called the house. And they knew about the Bobbies because they used that as an excuse. And so they began to look into the people that Kirsten knew as possible suspects. As news of Kirsten's murder became known, rumors began to fly around town that maybe it was someone within the Bobbies who had killed her.
Okay.
Apparently, the president of the Bobbies, her name was Jamie. She and Kirsten had gotten into an argument because Kirsten had said something about a guy that she liked.
Okay.
Which
I don't think
she didn't appreciate.
And I get that, but I don't think Kirsten was going to be in the Bobbies. Right?
No, yeah.
She was not going to be in the Bobbies. She was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there was some tension between the president of the Bobbies and Kirsten. After hearing about this, detectives spoke with Jamie, and they were quickly able to rule her out as a suspect. Actually, all the members of the Bobbies were questioned, and they all had alibis and or passed polygraph tests, which at the time were considered an indicator of innocence or guilt. You know, they were like, in 1984, you took a polygraph test, you passed it. Oh, girl, you're innocent.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't do nothing. Bye.
Go with Jesus. Bye.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because that was the law right there. Like, there was nothing else. That was it.
Yeah. While the Bobbies all had been cleared as suspects, it was still widely believed by police and the community that the killer was a teenager who also attended Miramonte High School. If not a Bobby member, maybe someone on the cheerleading squad or the swim team or the soccer team, or maybe someone who didn't like Kirsten and the Bobbies and what they represented, which was wealth, exclusivity, and popularity. There was one person in particular who checked all of those boxes, and her name is Nancy Kane. Mm-hmm. So Nancy had once been part of the popular crowd, just like Kirsten, and also had been approached to join the Bobbies. But she turned them down. Once a preppy girl, Kirsten began to change her style to more like a punk rock. And she wore darker makeup. She dyed her hair from light to black and wore dark clothes. And she began to hang out with those who were considered the outcasts at school.
I love me an outcast. And I love me a black dressed queen.
And dark makeup, dark nail polish.
Black, everything.
Black. Mm-hmm. And at the time in Miramonte High, dressing quote unquote differently was not okay.
Yeah, because everybody over there kind of was como de la alta, no? They had a little bit of money or whatever.
You stood out and people judged you for it. However, Nancy did not give a shit.
Yeah.
She
should.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, she fucking should.
There had been a time when Nancy and Kirsten had been good friends. They had known each other since they were kids. From first grade to freshman year, they had been friends. They maintained a close friendship. But at some point, the two became enemies.
Not enemies.
They did not like each other.
Holy shit.
And it was like a shared sentiment. Like they both knew that they didn't like each other.
And that's okay.
And so as teenagers do, you know, Kirsten would say nasty things about Nancy to her friends, you know, because you're talking shit. But two girls having a fallout didn't necessarily mean that one murdered the other one. I mean, that shit happens all the time, you know? That was until detectives learned that Nancy wrote a note in class that said, quote, "I want to see your blood drip, drip, drip."
Not the drip, drip, drip.
And she held it out for everybody to see, including Kirsten.
So she was like, she wrote her the note y se la enseñó.
Yeah, she wrote a notebook and then she went like this.
What? That was really very Regina Georgian shit.
She did not care.
She did not care.
Nancy did not care. She's like, I wanted them to know, and I wanted her to know that I didn't like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can't be using those negative words, ma'am. It's Nancy.
So this, coupled with the deteriorated friendship between the two, caused suspicion to fall on Nancy. Mm-hmm. Now, Nancy recalled that during freshman year, when she was still, you know, kind of close with Kirsten, she was just done with her and being her friend.
She just got tired.
She said she just couldn't stand her anymore. And Kirsten was confused as to why Nancy didn't want to be her friend anymore. Uh-huh. I believe it was during the summer from freshman year into sophomore year that Nancy was offered to be a part of the Bobbies. And that's when she turned them down. According to Nancy, while some of the Bobbies were nice, others weren't. And she didn't want to be anything like them or have anything to do with them. She wanted to be different. And that's when she began to change the way that she dressed, her style, and her look. And afterward, it became a known thing within the popular crowd that she wasn't part of the group anymore and that no one was to talk to her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She was now an outsider.
Okay. That's a lot of bullying over here. Just saying.
When asked about the note she wrote about, you know, the blood drip, 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 she admitted it and said that she wanted people to know that she didn't like Kirsten. Nancy recalled that at the time, Kirsten was not nice.
Okay.
She was mean and she made people feel bad about themselves, which was exactly what Nancy didn't want to be and the reason for their fallout.
And that's why she didn't want to be her friend. Okay,
Yeah.
Get it. But you don't have to tell her she wants to see her drip, 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 drip.
From speaking to other students, investigators learned that Kirsten could be somewhat of a bully.
Okay.
At the same time, she did have like a bubbly personality that could reel you in. From what I gathered, and I know you just said Regina George earlier, that's kind of what I pictured in my head, but not on that big of a scale as Regina George. But you know how the more Regina was mean to Gretchen, the more Gretchen wanted to be her friend?
Yeah.
Like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, because, I mean, she was in with everybody. She was one of the popular girls at school. And it was reported that también Kirsten, if she didn't like you, she made it known también.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, también tenía cola que le pisaran a la copa.
Sí.
Okay.
No, ahí las girls...
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody against everybody.
Yeah, they're like, you're either with us or against us.
Well, I mean, it happens like that sometimes.
Yeah. In the high schools, you know.
In the high schools, yeah. I was there.
Really?
In high school, yeah.
Yeah, but was it like that in your high school?
Yeah, well, no, I was just a weirdo.
You were an outcast.
I mean, well, I just feel like I was just, I was everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Like, I was the really Mexican people's friend, listening to Spanish music, but I was also friends with, like, all of the, whatchamacallit, ¿cómo se llaman? The rocker people, and then the ones that listen to Spanish rock, and then the ones that's English rock, and then I was just friends with everybody.
Yeah, that's good.
But then at the end of the day, I had no group. So I was always just, like, sola.
Yeah. So where was Heidi?
Oh, well, Heidi was my friend, but she had her group too. She had her own friends too.
Oh, okay.
Like, we all had our own, like, we were all everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, me personally, that's how I was.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a part of anybody's group. I was just me.
You're like, I don't need a group. I got myself.
Pretty much. But it was very lonely sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody had their group but me.
Yeah. Like, who do you get to call when you got home?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry about that, sister.
It's okay. Because guess what?
Chilling,
what doesn't kill me, yes, what doesn't
true.
kill me makes me stronger, baby girl.
And now you got all the friends.
Everybody. I have a lot of follower friends.
Mm-hmm. Now, other students at Miramonte say that they didn't remember Kirsten being purposely mean, but that she wasn't always the nicest.
Okay. So then they were corroborating whatever Nancy was saying.
Yeah. During Nancy's interview, which was conducted in her home with her parents present, she was asked about her relationship with Kirsten and the reason for their fallout. Detectives wanted to know if something specific had happened between them that caused the rift. But Nancy said that nothing. That it wasn't like some big event that happened that caused them to stop being friends.
She just didn't want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You can make those decisions.
Yeah, because she's like, I just didn't like the way that she was. She was being mean to people, and I didn't want to do that. When they asked about her whereabouts on the night of June 23rd, during the time Kirsten had been killed, she said that she had gone to the movies to see Ghostbusters with a friend.
Good movie choice.
They also asked Nancy to take a polygraph test, but her parents said no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, when
they have the right.
Yeah. And
she's a minor.
Yeah. And when the news, when the news hit the town that, the parents had said no, they found it very suspicious.
Sus.
The mentality was that if she had nothing to hide, why wouldn't they allow her to take the polygraph test? Nancy didn't really elaborate too much in her answers. It was just like, no, nothing big happened. We just stopped being friends. No, I was at the movies. Just very surface level. But she answered their questions. She just didn't, divulge too much information. And the detectives felt that they got the answers that they were going to get and nothing more. And so they decided to leave. However, as they were leaving, Nancy asked her mom if she needed to really tell them the truth about where she was that night. And her mom just looked at her like, yes, bitch. Well, she didn't say that. She was just like, yes, you need to tell them the truth. So Nancy, they called back the detectives porque estaban yendo, and she told them that while she had said that she was out with friends at the movies, it wasn't the truth. In reality, she was at her boyfriend's house. She stated that she initially lied because she didn't want her parents to know porque ellos no sabían. Later, her boyfriend's mom confirmed that Nancy had been there that night during the time that Kirsten was killed. And then she was eventually cleared as a suspect. Though she had been cleared, the talk around town did not let up when it came to Nancy being responsible for Kirsten's death. One of the rumors was that she had taken PCP and didn't remember killing her.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's taken a little far. Yep.
Through speaking with Nancy, investigators were now aware of Kirsten's not so nice personality.
Yeah. So that means that there's a lot more suspects now.
Exactly.
Like, it opens a lot more people that could have been like, I hate you, bitch. You're about to die.
Yes. And they began to look into other students whom she might have been mean to, and a new suspect emerged.
Okay.
Helena Hinton. So Helena was considered an outsider, not part of the popular crowd, and she was just kind of sort of there. She was described as quiet and meek, and Kirsten and her friends teased her. They teased her for being pale and for the way she dressed and looked.
Of course they did.
At one point, Helena was heard in the bathroom saying that she could just kill Kirsten after she had just yelled at her in front of everyone in the hallway.
Oh, she embarrassed her.
While that may have made detectives turn in her direction, it didn't last because Helena did not match the assailant that Alex Arnold had described.
That's what I was about to say. Can't they just show these girls to Mr. Alex and see who was it? Is it this one? Is it this
Yeah.
one?
She did not have long blonde hair, and her alibi was also corroborated. By this point, it had been almost 3 months since Kirsten's murder.
And people saw this person.
That's the thing.
And they have a car.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't find... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And though there had been, you just took the words right out from my paper here. And though there had been a witness to the crime, there were no suspects.
There's no way. What the fuck?
On September 4th, students returned to Miramonte High School for the new school year, but not everyone chose to go back. A lot of Kirsten's friends didn't. They just were so heartbroken what had happened, and they just couldn't go back there knowing that she wasn't going to be there. Another person who also didn't return was Nancy Kane, but for different reasons. Her parents were told by the principal of the school that she couldn't return.
Oh, wow. That's fucked up, though.
I know. And it was all due to the rumors surrounding Nancy's involvement.
But as a grown-up, you shouldn't get involved in that.
Yeah, but it's like the optics of the school. It's full of wealthy people,
Yeah, I get it, but whatever.
This is a complete side story, but some of the kids here were so wealthy that one of the previous students at that high school at that time said that there was kids that drove like Lamborghinis. They were on the school parking lot.
The fuck?
A DeLorean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Porsches. I was like, where's the dinero?
They had money, bitch. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get you.
Yeah. So it was that kind of
establishment.
Yes. But obviously not everybody at Miramonte had money. Now, the whole school was on edge. Like the whole student body thinking that they were having classes with the murderer. Like a murderer could have been sitting right next to them and no one knew who it was. The community was also terrified. Some of the parents were even scared to speak to the press, fearing that the killer was going to see it and then they were going to be mad and then the killer was going to target their child next. Mm. Since the case had no leads and had gone cold, the Costas held a press conference for the first time since Kirsten's murder, and they expressed their need for answers and wanted the person who was responsible to be caught. Frustrated with the police's lack of progress in the case, they hired a private investigator, hoping that a new perspective on the case would help move things along, because they felt, like everybody else did, that Kirsten's killer was close by. Like they knew it was somebody that lived where they lived. The Orinda Police Department decided it was time to ask the FBI for help. They provided the case files and the FBI provided a profile for the murder or of the murderer. The report stated that the crime had been committed by a young woman who was probably a friend of Kirsten's. Another trait of the killer was that they might have felt inferior to Kirsten and that they didn't fit in somehow.
And that drove a mustard color car.
The profile wasn't a surprise to anyone, especially the community, since it was what was already widely believed. However, the report also noted something very specific, that the perpetrator came from a large Catholic family.
What? Why? How do you know that?
Because they're profilers. They look at the case file.
Okay.
It was part of the profile.
Órale pues.
With this information, the detectives went back through the actual case file, the Kirsten's murder, and looked over the people they had previously interviewed to see if anyone matched it. And there was one person that did. Mm-hmm. Bernadette Prati.
Okay.
So Bernadette Prati was also a 15-year-old sophomore at Miramonte at the same time as Kirsten. She was described as nice, smart, and kind of quiet. In comparison to Kirsten, Bernadette didn't stand out. She was just kind of sort of there. She was the youngest child of 5 kids to parents Elaine and Raymond Prati. And the Pratis were a very religious Catholic family. And they also owned a yellow Ford Pinto.
Okay.
Like Kirsten.
Yellow but not mustard.
Potato.
Okay.
Like Kirsten, Bernadette was also, I think they said it was like a community swim team. But when she tried out for cheerleading, she didn't make it.
Okay.
Which we later learned, it really upset her. She also tried to be part of the yearbook committee. And she was also denied. She tried to be part of the in crowd. She really did. She always just kind of fell short of it, She could never just really push herself into being popular. So when the Bobbies invited her to become a member, it was a huge deal to her. Mm-hmm. Bernadette didn't have the personality or the wealth that the Bobbies usually did, that their members did. And the only reason she was asked to be a member was because Jamie, the president, and her were really good friends. Mm. Now, Bernadette was interviewed early in the investigation, but was dismissed as a suspect because she paused.
Not paused. I didn't know she had a past. Wow.
Now, Bernadette was interviewed early in the investigation, but was dismissed as a suspect because she passed a polygraph test, as many others had. But everyone else didn't match the suspect description as she did, because Bernadette was also blonde.
Oh, okay.
There was confusion and questions as to why Bernadette passed the initial polygraph test and yet matched the killer's profile. When the FBI agents working on the case reached out to the Quantico office regarding the profile, they were told that the killer would have passed the polygraph test with no problem since they had fully removed themselves from the crime and rationalized why they did it after it had happened. Agents were advised to give Bernadette another polygraph test and question her about specific events of the night, such as the use of the Pinto.
So what happens is sometimes the questions they'll ask are too broad. And so they'll be like, oh, were you dressed in red or something like that? And they're like, no. And then they'll pass it, right? But then they're like, no, but were you wearing pants and shorts and shoes or something, a little bit more specific.
And like one of the agents had said, like in her mind, she has fully removed herself from what happened that night.
She's like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, and I guess if you believe your own bullshit, then...
No. It happens all the time. People are able to pass polygraph tests just by being so I just saw a case not too long ago of a guy that's in jail, and there's video and everything of what he did, and he still passed the polygraph test.
Yeah, and that's why
he was like, he I guess it's all the part of how your emotions are whenever you're answering the questions, and they have you hooked up. And I guess he was so
dead emotionally
that he passed
obviously polygraph tests don't mean shit now.
Exactly.
So on December 8th, of 1984. So this was 6 months.
Yeah. It took them a while.
Bernadette took another polygraph test conducted by FBI agent Ron Haley. It was a 4-hour pre-polygraph interview and then the polygraph test itself.
They're trying to confuse her.
She was asked some of the same questions she was asked in the initial test, such as if she had killed Kirsten Costas, to which she answered no, and if she knew anything about the crime, to which, again, she answered no. During the test, Haley read her the killer's profile. At the end, Bernadette was silent and after a moment said, quote, "You think I did it?" And Haley told her, yeah. And Bernadette then asked if they had to finish this today, and Haley said no, that they could continue it another day. And so she was let go. While the results of the test showed deception in 2 key areas, it was also inconclusive in others, and it wasn't enough to hold her or take any further investigative action. Now, 3 days later, on December 11th, Bernadette got ready to go to school, but before she left a note on the counter for her mom. And, it was for her parents, but she told her mom to wait 30 minutes after she had left before she read it. So she did. Her mom waited the 30 minutes, and after the time passed, she read the letter, and it said, quote, "Dear Mom and Dad, I've been trying to tell you this all day, but I love you so much, it's too hard, so I'm taking the easy way out. The FBI man, ... thinks I did it, and he's right. I've been able to live with it, but I can't ignore it. It's too much for me, and I can't be that deceiving. Please still love me. I can't live unless you love me. I've ruined my life and yours, and I don't know what to do, and I'm ashamed and scared. P.S. Please don't say how could you or why, because I don't understand this and I don't know why."
Oh.
End quote. After reading the letter, her mom went to pick her up from school, and then both of her parents drove her to the police station so she could talk to a detective.
As she said, her mom is amazing.
But Bernadette only wanted to speak to Ron Haley, which is the agent that had, had conducted the polygraph. So during Bernadette's interview with Haley, she confessed to killing Kirsten Costas. Now, on the night of June 23rd, Bernadette told her parents that she had a babysitting job so she could get out of the house and use a car, which I believe the car was her older sister's. Instead, she drove to Kirsten's house, honked the horn. When Kirsten came out and saw that it was Bernadette picking her up, she said, "Oh, it's you." And it was reported that response made Bernadette feel so insignificant that Kirsten wasn't even mad. She was just indifferent to Bernadette. Kirsten still got in the Pinto, and the two drove off. According to Bernadette, Kirsten wanted to stop at a church parking lot to smoke some weed. And so they stopped at the Moraga Valley Presbyterian Church. Now, it became obvious that there wasn't a Bobby's secret dinner. So Bernadette told Kirsten that she knew of a great party that they should go to. And she wasn't lying, because there was a party that night to which Bernadette hadn't been invited, but Kirsten had. According to Bernadette, if she showed up to that party with one of the most popular girls in school, she would finally be accepted. So when she told her, hey, let's go to this party, Kirsten initially said, yeah, let's go to the party. They remained in the parking lot maybe for like about 30 to 40 minutes. And Bernadette was talking to Kirsten, trying to convince her to be her friend.
Oh,
she was like begging her. That's what they said, like to the point of begging. Kirsten grew tired of it and said something along the lines of, are you in love with me or something?
Oh.
Which made Bernadette mad. Kirsten then told her that she was weird, got out of the car, and she began walking across the street towards the Arnold's house. So es cuando le fue a tocar al señor Alex. Bernadette followed Kirsten in her Pinto and drove close to the front of the Arnold's home. Now, Bernadette panicked and said that Kirsten was going to go to school and tell everyone that she was weird and wouldn't smoke any weed, because that's another thing that she said, that Kirsten asked her to smoke weed and she said that she didn't want to do it, which would not only have humiliated her in her mind, but she also thought that she was going to lose her status as a Bobby.
And she wasn't going to be cool.
And to her, that was all she had. She couldn't handle more rejection. Her fear grew and grew as she followed Alex Arnold's car to Orinda, to the Costas' home.
She was probably just thinking everything that was going to happen if she didn't catch up with her, to try to talk to her at least or something, or maybe not kill her, but at least talk to her, you know?
By the time they arrived, she was blinded with rage, it's reported. And it was during the drive that she noticed that there was a knife under the driver's seat. Later, it is said that knife was in the car, since her sister had gone to a sub shop with some of her friends and she had used the knife to cut them in half, and then she just never took it out of the car and take it back to the kitchen, because it was from their kitchen. It was like a butcher's knife. As she parked, she reached for the kitchen knife that she had discovered was under the seat, got out of the car, and began walking behind Kirsten, and then stabbed her. In the recorded confession, Bernadette said that she got angry, ran up to her, and stabbed her. She said that Kirsten told her something and that she just did it, that it was just so quick. She said, quote, I don't know what I was doing, and then afterwards, I was horrified. I didn't think about if she was going to die. I lost for cheerleader, and I didn't get the club I wanted, and I didn't get on the yearbook staff. The things that got me mad was it hurt, and I couldn't change, like looks or money or popularity things. She added that during a school ski trip, Kirsten commented on her skis, which hurt her feelings because her family couldn't afford nice skis. And so she only wanted to hurt Kirsten, not kill her. And my thing is, but you have a knife. What are you going to do with the knife?
Well, yeah, but at that moment, she didn't really think about it. You know, she was probably like enraged, you know, and all of that. But at that moment, she's just thinking everything just going through her head. Imagine like, you know. And
I understand when you're 15 and you're in high school. And I mean, it sounds like by the type of high school that they went to, like
everything was status, you know. So she was like, okay, I'm finally a Bobby. I'm finally here. At least
I'm in a Bobby. I'm the Bobbies.
But everybody
is about to hate me because she's going to tell them that I'm weird.
That I'm weird because I want to date her. And I really don't.
No, I just wanted her to be my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted her.
She was popular.
Yeah. She was just going to beg her.
That's sad.
Please don't beg anybody to be your friend if they don't want to find another one.
I mean, we tell your daughter that all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
She gets her feelings hurt or something.
I am the biggest one about it's going to be okay if they don't want to be your friend, just move on to, you know, I'm the biggest one of that. But in that moment, no, it doesn't matter if you're whatever color, whatever status, whatever. If you are 15 years old and you are living that and in high school, that's your life.
That's the biggest deal ever.
You think in your mind that this is it. Como in the words of my parents, se te cierra el puto mundo and you're done. Like that's all you think about. And I get that. I really don't want to say that I get why she did what she did. No. But what I'm saying is I understand where she was coming from and why she went up there.
Fear,
that fear. That
everybody was going to think that you're weird. And you're going to be an outcast, and all you wanted to do was just fit in, you know?
See, you could just be like me and just be weird anyway.
Yeah, just floating around.
Just floating around. Everybody was my friend.
Now, when the news of Bernadette being Kirsten's killers became public, no one could believe it.
No.
Again, she was described as polite, a pretty good student, and a good kid. Suzanne Barr, who Bernadette babysat for over 6 years, said, quote, "There has to be a terrible mistake.
Wow.
I don't know who else I would trust my children to. She's full of grace, sympathy, and love."
Wow.
I know. Yikes. On Thursday, December 13th, Bernadette was charged with first-degree murder in juvenile court because she was going to be tried as a juvenile and was ordered to remain in custody until her trial. At her arraignment on December 19th, she pleaded not guilty. The trial date was set for February 4th of 1985 in Contra County Superior Court, but it actually began on March 11th of that year. And it was going to be tried without a jury and before Contra Costas Superior Court Judge Edward L. Merrill. The prosecutor, John Oda, wanted a conviction of first-degree murder because he believed Bernadette planned the murder. He laid out the case, stating that Bernadette was jealous because, quote, "Costas, the cheerleader from a wealthier family, was a symbol of everything she could not have," end quote.
Okay.
And she also plotted the murder. She lured Kirsten out of her home with a fake invitation, knowing that she was going to kill her. She had plenty of opportunities not to carry out her plan. And after she killed Kirsten, she returned to her home. She went for a walk with her mom. She hid the knife, washed it, and then placed it back the very next day.
Oh, how many did you to throw that in the trash can?
During the rest of the summer, she went to summer school and returned to Miramonte as a junior that fall and went on as if nothing had happened.
Do you think she didn't think she was going to get caught?
I think at first she thought that they're going to catch me because they said somebody saw me. But I think as the months passed by, she was like, okay, maybe I'm going to be okay. Pero I think she thought about it every night. I really do.
And I think that she did regret what she did. You think?
I do.
Oh, okay.
The defense attorney, Charles James, countered the prosecution's case and argued that while Bernadette had killed Kirsten, that's not what they were. That's not what they were disputing, right? Like they knew that she had killed Kirsten, but that it hadn't been premeditated. The attack had been very messy, very frazzled, like she seemed frazzled. He said, quote, "This naive, unsophisticated young girl who later expressed horror at what she did." He also quoted the letter where she said, that she confessed to her parents, where she said, "Don't ask me why or how could you? I just need so much help and love. I don't know what to do." So he was saying she was remorseful for what she did. She didn't plan it. It just happened in the moment. So the trial lasted 3 days. And after all the testimonies from, everybody, all the evidence, on March 13th of 1985, now 16-year-old Bernadette Prodi was convicted of second-degree murder. According to Judge Merrill, prosecutors failed to prove first-degree murder beyond a reasonable doubt. On April 1st, Bernadette was sentenced to a maximum a minor could receive in California, which was 9 years in a state youth facility.
That's nothing.
I know. Now, Arthur Costas, Kirsten's dad, told reporters that his feeling is that the law had been served and added that, quote, "We've lost our daughter. I don't believe the punishment will ever match the crime."
No, obviously not.
Now, Bernadette was released after serving 7 years at the age of 23 and remained under parole for the following 2 years. And I believe that at the end of the 2 years, when she was 25, she later moved out of the state with her family.
Yeah, which would probably be the best.
Now, the Costas also left California and moved to Hawaii.
Oh, even better.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the 90s. So this case was national news at the time. And they actually ended up making movies out of it. I think one on Lifetime, of course, that's where it would be. And the other one, I'm not sure where it premiered, but I remember that I saw that Tori Spelling was in it.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And that's the case of the murder of Kirsten Costas.
Wow. That is something else. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Very, very crazy. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. Let us know what you think. And if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you can at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to download our episodes, leave us a review and rate us. We would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. And we will talk to you in the next one. Bye.